You know, I've heard it compared to a nuclear bomb, horrific, total devastation, no life, the moon. You know, I just don't know if there's a real good word or set of phrases that could describe what some of our property looks like. I'm Jimmy Edmonds. We're here in western Oklahoma in Dewey County. I was born and raised here. I farm and ranch for a living, have since the beginning. My granddad came to this part of Oklahoma in 1926, so we've been here ever since then in the family operation. You know, people ask me a lot, am I a farmer or a rancherman? Well, we're kind of both. My wife Ginger and I, she loves the cattle, so she's kind of the rancher, and I'm the farmer. I love the soil and seeing the plants grow. I'm not afraid to push the envelope to get to the next level. I'm willing to try something totally out of the blue that I think will work, because in production agriculture right now is very tough if you're in a traditional system, and so I try to separate myself out of that. I'm trying to get back to the basics and let the land, let the biology in the ground do what it was supposed to do in the beginning, to create nutrients for us. And that's the way it's designed, and we've got to get that mentality back as agriculture in a whole. Tillage is just like a wildfire or a tornado to the soil. It's devastating. I can't understand to see soil now tilled up, because I understand the damage. I grew up with that, and I thought we were doing what we were supposed to do, but now I know better. It's really fascinating to me what we could do with our soil, and so then I started talking about it a little bit. Then all at once, people were asking me to come to a conference and put a PowerPoint on. And one of the most rewarding things you see is when somebody gets excited and wants to try something that you're sharing about. So that's kind of the cool part about being able to talk and share. The day that the fire started on April 13th, we were in Oklahoma City at the state capitol, where we were receiving the first Leopold Award in Oklahoma.
It was a great day. It truly was. My whole family came, Jimmy's family came.
My phone buzzed a couple of times while we were having lunch, and I'd kind of promised everybody that I would stay off my phone that day. And little did I know that it was neighbors telling me that the fire had started east of our house.
But we thought we were in the clear because it was headed north.
One of our friends, Ginger's friend, had called her, and she said, "You might ought to come home. There's a fire." And she was trying to be really calm and collected for us. And I said, "You know, well, how bad is it?" And she said, "If you'll turn the news on, you'll understand." And then we realized really how bad it was.
It's just a losing battle here. All they're trying to do is to save structures, try to save homes.
We got in the pickup and turned the flashers on and came home 90 miles an hour to get to see one of the most horrendous fires that I've ever seen. You know, 50, 60 foot wall of flames in the river bottom. Until we got there and got out of the pickup and saw it, the photos just did not do it justice. That term, the perfect storm, very well fits this fire. It was so dry. We'd been at that point in time probably 140 days with less than a quarter inch of rainfall. We had south winds, west winds, north winds, back to south winds, and so we would think we were okay, and then the fire would come from another direction.
Holy cow, look at the wind coming off that thing.
The Forest Service told us that afternoon it was burning 118 acres a minute when it went by our home place. We just didn't know what to do next. Ginger would rush to one place, I would rush to another place that was on fire. to try to figure out what to do. You know, we had several cow herds that we knew were either in the burn area or were fixing to be, and we couldn't get to them.
We got here too late and the smoke was so bad, we couldn't go check on the cattle, and we didn't know if they perished or not that day. It was a long night.
You know, it's not like your family or your child, but it's real close. You know, they're helpless, and so you want to get there and try to help them. You could see what was happening, and you know, you just didn't think they was going to make it.
The next morning we got up to go out there and look for our cattle, and Jimmy went to one pasture and I went to another one, and yeah, I'm getting a little emotional about it.
I took a gun. Ginger didn't bring a gun because she just couldn't do it in case we had to put some down. Luckily, we didn't have to do that. I had some friends that struggled for days putting cattle down, so that was very tough on them.
Maybe there's 2 or 3 acres that didn't burn, and I guess they got on it. It is all we know. It was a big relief because they are our livelihood.
We saved a cow herd, but now we have nothing for them to eat, so we got to send them somewhere. The ones that we keep here, you know, how do you feed them? You know, do you plant another crop to graze on here? If you do that, you lose your cash crop. So there's a lot of emotions and thought process you go through, and that might change several times. You know, what do we do next? You know, what's the priority? But we were blessed in that we still have our house. We did lose one machine shed and a little damn equipment, but we've got most of our equipment and almost all of our cattle.
We lost a lot, but there's a lot of people who lost a lot more. Some of them lost their homes. A lot of them did lose their cattle.
We came by a farm today that a neighbor lost everything except their house in their yard.
Really, we were very lucky in comparison.
The fire was so unpredictable. It lasted for 9 days.
65% of Dewey County burned.
The economic effect here in Dewey County, they're talking $26 to $30 million, and that's not going to be all of it. If you're one of the people that didn't have much equity to burn, this is, it could be disastrous. Being prepared is tough to do in a situation like that. But once again, it's agriculture and it's life. And we know that there's going to be highs and there's going to be mediums and then there's going to be extreme lows. If you dwell on the terrible and the negative, it's hard to pull your boots on of a morning. So there is some great positives that come out of this that we have to stay focused on. We should have less invasive species in our pastures. We should have new fences. Grass will be good and green again. In the soil health aspect of this, I really believe with all my heart what we've been working on is really going to pay. We are trying to build our water infiltration so when we do get rain that we store it instead of running it off. And so that's built resiliency in our farming operation and actually in a lot of our rangeland. We've done a really good job grazing and moving our cattle around in high stock density. That land is going to recover a lot quicker than what you see in the background here today. So you've got to think, you know, this is going to look pretty dang good in a year or 2 years or 3 years down the road here. It's a terrible ordeal to go through. You never want to wish this on anybody or yourself, but we're in it. We've got to see the positive outcome here. We're just passing through. This earth is going to be here, and it's going to heal itself, but we can help it